jump in with some questions that you guys had to start out, and then we'll start a dialogue from there, because I know there's a lot of questions that come up weekly. Let me pull this up. One sec. Okay. All right. I got to get my glasses, you guys, because that's happening. I know, you guys, we've had a lot of questions come up, and that's why we're doing these. What do you recommend I do if I don't have money and I want to practice at home? So if you guys want to practice at home, and a lot of you can't afford to train, and I understand that, because it's got to be sustainable. It's kind of like a workout. You don't want to go to the gym a couple of times and then tap out, because you don't have the money. Luckily, you can get a gym membership, but even that, it's expensive, right? For a lot of people, and voice lessons can be very expensive. And if you pay to go to a teacher that isn't super qualified, they can actually harm you. So sometimes you're better off doing your own thing, or getting tips from teachers and things like that, like this, right, online. So one of the things that you can do, there's a Skillshare class that I did, a master class, that you can watch. That's a good intro. It's for beginners, intermediate, and advanced, but it really does gear itself towards beginners. It's Skillshare, Skillshare. You go on the app and then look for Valerie Morehouse, look for my master class, and you're able to take that. It's a really good introduction to singing. The other things you can do, I don't like going online for anything, because you're oftentimes getting the wrong types of warm-ups for you, and that can be also very dangerous. You don't want to be warming up in the wrong way, and if you have too much muscle on the voice and you're doing exercises that are too muscly, you're tying the knot tighter. And so every warm-up is different for every person, and you kind of do need that one-on-one. If you can even afford a teacher for maybe a half-an-hour lesson and have them run you through a diagnostic, they can make you a warm-up that you can do for a while on your own. So that might be an option if you can afford one lesson. You can also contact me with those questions at valeriemorehouse.com. There's a contact page, and we'll answer your questions. So some of the warm-ups you can do, I would say you have to be diagnosed first, really, to be honest with you. You really do have to get looked at. So if you have somebody in your area, maybe you could find someone that has a good reputation. I don't know, maybe they don't charge too much, and you can do it that way. But you do need to get diagnosed at some point, because you want to know what your problems are and how to fix them. And sometimes if you do it on your own and you're left to your own devices, you can tie those knots even tighter. Hi guys, more guys coming in, everybody coming in. I'm starting off with questions here, so please stay with us. What's my next question? What exercises can I do to open my soft palate? Okay, so one of the things that singers always do is they use their verbiage wrong, right? You don't really open a soft palate. You can't open. I know what they're trying to say. You're trying to say lift the soft. That's that, lift the soft palate. Here's the thing, you guys. Sometimes lifting the soft palate is good for certain singers, and sometimes it puts you into a bigger problem because you're too hooty. And if you're a singer that has a lot of air in your voice, you don't want to be doing hooty exercises like, it's so far back. I would only give that to somebody if they were really struggling, straining, and they were really pulling. So those are tough questions, because I don't know the person's voice. And so a soft palate, raising their soft palate might not be, it might not be the ticket for them, right? So, but if you do know that that's what you need to do, one of the things you can do is anything that's very, like UGH, like na, na. But again, you might need to get a more forward sound. Na, which for contemporary music, you do need to position the voice a little bit more forward. And all that means is a little bit more in the mask. And so just be really careful of that. You guys need to get a lesson with a pro at least once in your life. Let them diagnose you, and then follow up with an exercise that they might be able to do for you. I make all of mine for my clients. I don't sell them. I don't sell that stuff online. I don't have benign warm-ups for people because they're either just that benign or they're dangerous because I don't know the person's voice. It's like a doctor seeing a patient and they are diagnosing a patient and they haven't seen them. Dangerous. Don't do that, you guys. Okay. What can I do if when I get to my high notes, the sound sounds like falsetto? Okay, so first of all, the question is, what do I do when I'm trying to hit the high notes, but my voice sounds like falsetto? First of all, we need to make sure, is that a male or female? Females don't have falsetto. Falsetto comes from the Latin root of the word, the false voice. And it's really when a boy goes through a vocal change and they could sing in a soprano choir when they were little, then all of a sudden they roll into puberty, right? So like around 14, 15, sometimes they're still going through at 16, and their voice is dropping. And so they have to create this false voice, this high voice. Women, females, we just have a head voice, right? So it's not really falsetto. But if that's a question for a male voice, a man's voice, when you get to the high notes, that just means your voice is flipping. So that means you're a flipper. You have too much air in the voice. And so you need to do exercises that negate that. So if you have too much air in the voice, it's got to be more of that middle ground where you have that no, 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 instead no, 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 no. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you can go all the way up the scale. Gee, gee, as opposed to if you were a man, gee, gee, gee. That's way too breathy. And by the way, we don't talk like that, so you don't want to sing like that. We do use falsetto. Men do use falsetto. Women use head voice for a certain sound, but you want to make sure that you understand what all of that means. It's very, very intricate when you start taking voice lessons, and you slowly start to figure out you don't know what you don't know you don't know. So I hope I answered that. So again, get with a teacher. Maybe just a half an hour lesson. Let them answer some questions for you and put you on the right path. ValerieMorehouse.com. You can go there. We'll set you guys up. We'll figure it out. There were some other questions that came in and I missed them. I'm so sorry, you guys. They're moving so fast. My partner Braden's on, so maybe he can text some of them. Please ask me while you have me now. I'm just reading the questions that I had in front of me, the people who pre-asked questions. If there's anything that you guys want to know about the voice, or you have any misnomers, if you already have a teacher and you feel like you're not on the right path, if you feel like something's amiss, ask me the question so I can clear it up for you. You're welcome, Santiago. Yeah, hi Amir. Anything that you guys want to know about your breathing, about how to get into singing, you can ask me technical questions, you can ask me business questions. This is sort of full 360. So I do vocal production in the studio for singers. I also do live. I do live performance coaching, and so I take my inners and I listen to what's working, what isn't, and why for a live show. So not just voice lessons, not just vocal technique, but also anything that's live, maybe in the studio or live shows. And so I have a lot of information about touring, if you guys want to know about touring and all of that. So keep them coming. Let me know. Shoot them. Just throw them at me. I'm gonna have coffee while I get your question. I don't know where everybody is. Give me a shout out and let me know where everybody is right now. I'm in LA, and so it's, I don't know, it's still technically morning. I can still technically have my coffee. Anybody else have any questions for me? Guys, also watch out with warm-ups. Go slow, take your time, allow the voice to warm up. Don't be in a rush. You're not supposed to be at your end game at the beginning of a warm-up, right? That's what a warm-up is for. It's just like when you're in high Nebraska, it's just like when you're working out, maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes of that workout, you're feeling a little bit sluggish. And then about 15, 20 minutes in, you feel better. And I know I did Pilates this morning, so getting back in after the holidays was rough. But we all have to keep moving, and you have to keep your voices moving. The problem is if you keep your body moving and your voice moving and you don't know what you're doing or your form is out, you're gonna have a lot of problems. So we've got, what do you prefer not to eat or drink before you sing? Good question. I always tell people, just don't focus too hard on what I can have, what I can't have. Santiago, give me your question again when I've answered this, because I do want to get to that. Just be smart about it. Don't have a pizza and a couple pieces of pizza and a milkshake before you go on stage. You know, tons and tons of dairy. If you're not lactose intolerant, guys, have dairy. Have a little bit of dairy. It's okay. Just don't eat a big meal before you sing. Don't have anything that's heavy before you sing. You know, you want to be fueled, but I wouldn't eat like a good hour and a half before you're going to go on stage. So usually people who are touring, they do their dinners, and the catering comes in to do dinner around, 6 o'clock, between 5 and 6, and then they don't go on usually until 8:30. So they have a couple hours to let their bodies rest and digest and all that. So just be smart about it. Just don't have big meals and drink tons and tons of dairy. There was another question. Santiago, we had another question. Maybe you could send it back to me. Mine are scrolling up so fast. And mine won't let me scroll down for some reason. I'm gonna have to figure this out, but there we go. Hold on. Never mind. How many times do you warm your clients up before a concert? Okay, so that is a really, really good question. I usually warm them up depending on how big of the show, how big the show is rather. I usually warm them up before sound check, so they don't have a crappy sound check, and that will be sometime in the afternoon. I'll do a quick 20-minute just to get them moving, and then we have a little bit of a break, and then I come back and I warm them up after hair and makeup, sometimes during makeup. If my girls are sitting in their chair, they're getting their hair done or their makeup done, and we'll warm up there. But I like them to be relaxed. So typically twice would be the answer to your question. Let's see. There was another one scrolling down. Hold on. I missed one. I thought I missed one. Now I keep scrolling up. All right, we're at the bottom again. I thought I missed one. If I missed your question, please retype it. Anybody else have anything for me while I'm here? If you don't have your vocal trainers, guys, get them. They're game changers. All my clients are using them. BetterVoice.store is where you can get yours. It's super reasonably priced, and it withstands hot water. You can use it anywhere. I have them, my guys actually either put them around their neck or they're carrying them on their keychains. You can rinse it off, you can wash it and go anywhere with it. Much better than carrying around 3 different size straws in water. So I prefer this thing. I also find that it gets the voice where it needs to be faster. So BetterVoice.store if you don't already have it. If you have separate questions for me and you don't want to ask it in this forum for whatever reason, you can always go to ValerieMorehouse.com and get a hold of me on my contact page, and I promise you I'll get back to you. I get back to everybody, always. If you have a dry throat after waking up, what can I do or drink? So if you have a dry throat when you wake up, that's probably a humidity issue in your bedroom. I like to get really high-powered humidifiers and plug them in. And I like to do warm, especially during the winter. I like warm mist humidifiers. Plug those suckers in, make sure they're big enough to fill your whole room, and just plug those in and let that run all night. And you really won't need all the teas and the potions and the throat coats and things like that. Tea is great, honey is great. Yeah, we had someone say ginger with tea and honey, really, really good. But if you want to prevent it, get a humidifier. They're really great. We have nebulizers. Plug the humidifier into your room. We have many nebulizers if you forgot to plug yours in and you're feeling dry. BetterVoice.store, we also have a nebulizer. It's a tiny little compact thing. I think I showed you guys last time. Let me go grab it. It looks like this. And you can use this for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You put the water, the medicine in the top there, and then you turn it on. It's a little button here, and you turn it on, and you just, and then there's also attachment you can use, and you can get that at bettervoice.store as well. We love them. My singers use them and travel with them. So humidity is what you want, a humid environment. One of my clients in New York who's on Broadway, it gets very dry there for him. So he uses the nebulizer, he uses a humidifier in his room, and he also has a cool little gadget that tells him the humidity in his apartment. So that's always a great thing to have. So get the humidifiers, guys. They're really, really important. I feel like I had another question. Hold on. Scrolling down, maybe not. Anyway, tell me where you guys are from. I love to know where everybody's from, where you're logging in from, and where you are as a singer, if you train, if you are enjoying your teacher, if you feel like you're stuck. I get a lot of students that have said, oh, I've had 5 teachers, or I've been with my person for 4 years and they've hit a plateau and they're feeling stuck. And that's usually a sign that the teacher is a little bit limited. So you should never really feel that way. You should always be improving. Humbly speaking, I like to say that myself and my teachers, we usually retain our clients for years and years and years because we're constantly finding something new in the voice and something they could be doing live and on stage and all of that too. Someone said Cheryl Porter courses. What is that? Cheryl Porter courses. I don't know what that is, you guys. I don't know Cheryl Porter. I don't know what they teach, but happy to check it out. Be careful of the courses. I think master classes are great for beginners and you don't know your voice, but really, really, really be careful of the classes. I mean, they're all great that you can do stuff online and pay for subscriptions, and I love all of that stuff now, but it is also a little bit dangerous because they're talking to a ghost. They're talking to you. You could have nodules. You could have a little hemorrhage that you don't know about that's been there for years. You could have swollen vocal cords. You could have an allergy issue that just keeps constantly dripping and burning your cords and you can't figure out why you can't get them together. Vocal cords lengthen and dampen. They lengthen and they stretch out as you get higher in the register, and then they dampen and they shorten as you get lower. So there are different engagement rules as you sing and you go through those bridges, and you really have to understand that and know that in your own voice. The exercises are fine, but there might be 2 or 3 in there that are actually harming you, and that makes me really nervous. I have a lot of students that come to me and they're doing exercises that are tying knots hard, even tighter, and it's going with their problem instead of against their problem. I have teachers that I see that are doing that. Clients that come to me and they've been with somebody for a while and they've got them doing these super loud, heavy weighted exercises, and they're already pullers, and they're not understanding how to get into their mixed voice. Also incredibly dangerous. So be careful of the online. Just be real careful of that unless you're one-on-one. You really want to see a doctor that gives you medication or a diagnosis, and then you can kind of follow the diagnosis, whether you're doing supplements or some type of food change to clear up your stomach. But you want to see someone first. Don't just be diagnosed out of the air. Very dangerous. Santiago, I'm from Mexico. I found you because I like to watch the teachers, my favorite singers. Yeah, so Santiago says he found me through his favorite singers that he listens to. Maybe the singer that I probably coach them, and there's a trust there, right? There's usually a trust there. And so you want to make sure that you're with a teacher that has a really good track record, and their students seem to really like them, and they're moving forward. That's always really important. Just because somebody has a big celebrity list, though, doesn't make them a great teacher. That's a little secret for you guys. There are problems in that world. There's a lot of problems in the vocal world. There's a lot of wonderful information and there's a lot of misinformation. Some of the most fabulous teachers I've ever known have taught in these tiny little studios with not named clients, but they're amazing technicians. And I've seen some other teachers with these big client lists and rosters, and they are missing a lot of information, and they're I don't know, maybe their ego's involved. They can't ask for help. They're not asking anyone for help because they're the teacher. Why would they reach out? So that also creates a problem. Bet you guys didn't really think about that before, but that is rampant. There's no certification process, no true certification process for a teacher. So that's why this is a very delicate area and a very delicate subject. You know, you need certain types of schooling and experience to do lots of things in life, even massage therapy, but not for vocal coaches. So be very careful who you choose, because you're dealing with anatomy, guys. You're dealing with muscles and anatomy. Did I miss another one as I'm talking away? I love the dialogue. I wish I could hear all your voices. That's why I like to lecture, because I like to see your faces and I like to hear the feedback always. Anybody right now struggling with anything? While we wrap up, we have a couple minutes left. Anybody have a question that you've always wanted to ask a teacher? Anything bothering you? Oh, tips if you're hoarse but you still have a gig. Ooh, that's a tough one. You shouldn't be singing if you're hoarse, because you can hemorrhage on stage. You can hemorrhage live, and that's when the vocal cords and the blood vessels in the muscle in the vocal cord, the vocal cords start to swell, and the blood vessels inside that muscle, they start to swell and they can burst. So I don't like singers singing hoarse. You make sure you have a killer warm up, and don't warm up too long, because then it's diminished returns when you hit the stage. If you're hoarse, you need to get to the show you have, and if you can't, cancel it. You need to warm up properly, and then you need to shut it down when you get off stage. Total vocal rest, total silence. Vocal rest for a day, 2 days, whatever it takes to get the voice back. Don't sing on that too long, you guys, because it can cause permanent damage. It can start a cause of sandpaper, like vocal cords. They start getting a little nodule on them or a little bump. It's very hard to get rid of that. Get out in front of it, guys. Get out in front of it. Don't be chasing your tail and chasing those problems and those issues all the time. That is very, very dangerous. Your voice is hoarse. Your body is telling you to stop. If you sprained your ankle, you wouldn't try to go out and play a game on that ankle. You'd get off of it, and your coach certainly wouldn't let you in until it was healed, right? We don't do that for our voices. We don't do that for ourselves as singers because it doesn't hurt. We can just hear that it's not working and we're tired, but we don't actually feel physical pain like you would if you hurt your knee or your ankle. So be very careful. What else do we have? All right, we have some, let's see. How does a day of a singer look like? What does the day in a singer look like? Well, it depends on the singer. My clients, their days are full of getting up, getting any mucus that they have out in the morning, maybe a little sinus rinse, warming up the voice a little bit, seeing their voice coach or their voice teacher. Maybe they have a sound check because they have a show that day, or maybe they're just going through material. They want to be able to sing for an hour a day, and so you really have to be in your mixed voice before you start that, because if you're not warmed up properly, you're always going to feel hoarse and tired after. Hang on. Oh my God. Now you guys pop in with all the questions. Ooh, I clear my throat. Yeah. It's clearing your throat can become a habit, you guys. Don't constantly clear your throat. It's really dangerous, because some people get a cold or a flu, and then weeks and weeks and weeks after, they're still clearing their throat. Just be careful of that. To stay very, very hydrated and try to be focused on it. I'm going to scroll back for a minute because I feel like, hold on. I feel like I had a bunch of questions before that. Let's see. My sister also likes to sing. She was when her mezzo passaggio begins. Yeah, so a bridge for a female is an A to a B flat above middle C. That's the first passage for a female singer. I hope I answered that. That's where you have to squeeze through and get through that passage, but you have to understand how to do it, because if you pull too much weight or you have too much air, your voice is going to be out of balance. You're never going to sing the way you want to sing. You're always going to feel like an imposter. You can't get there. That's why you need a teaching to help you get through that. What exercises would you recommend for head mix? My vocal trainer's on the way. Yay! Head mix would be, again, I have to see you because I don't know what kind of singer you are, but a pretty middle of the road one. I like the nose, and I like to plug my nose when I do that because it's really safe. And when you plug your nose up the scale, it takes all the tension out of the neck, so only the vocal cords move. So you, no, 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 no. I love that nasally sound just to start. Just to start. That's not your end game. That's just to get the voice, if you're tight in here and you want to get into the mix. Or no, 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 and then you try it without. No, 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 no. I use my trainer. I would always use my trainer because this gets me there faster than anything. No, 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 no. It's easy. If I go high. Let's try that again. Let me pick another note. This is higher. I felt that. No, 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 no. I felt my mix right away, immediately. Even if I'm cold, I had to do a little lecture. I did a little something over the break, and I hadn't taught for a week because it was the holidays. And so I picked up my trainer and I started blowing through it, and I was doing arpeggio scales, and I could hear that the mixed note on my bridge, like A to B flat, was a little bit off. It wasn't that I couldn't hear it. Of course I can hear it. I couldn't get there because my cords were so cold. After I blew into this thing for about 3 times, it fully connected and balanced. And so it was pretty amazing. I mean, you get there faster than you can possibly imagine with this guy. So get one, bettervoice.store. I'm going to wrap it up. I do have a few more minutes if you guys want to stay on, but I am going to take the last question here. Santiago has a lot of questions. Is the trainer similar to the straw? It is and it isn't. It's the same idea, but it's very, very different functioning. The straw is great if you don't have a trainer, but then you have to carry 3 different sizes around with you in water. And why would you want to do that? I did it for years, and we all got wet, and everybody was, had the wrong cup, and they're pouring water out, and then they have to drink the water, and then they don't have enough, and then they're grabbing another size straw. It's just like, oh my God, this is why Better Voice and Braden created this design, because you don't need to do any of that. The lever gives you the back pressure you need, and it's all in this little guy right here. It also gives your cords a little bit more inertance, like feedback, energy feedback. So when you're going up the scale, you can control the pressure with the lever. So if you have more pressure, you're lifting more weights, right? You're benching more weights for the vocal cords. When you're doing that, your vocal cords are shutting and in a very, very safe way without the TA, without muscles in the neck and the larynx hiking and grabbing and choking you out. It just gets where you need to go so much faster. And I've shared this with you guys before. All my clients, Livia, Sam, Smith, they've all said it's a game changer for them. It's just a game changer. It really, really is a game changer. And it was for me. When I started using this thing, I was blown out of the water. That nobody had thought about this before. I'd always said that singing was like a kazoo. And so my partner and I are always hyping this because it's the best thing we've ever used. And by the way, Braden, he's the silent one, the silent partner, but he has his own cool story of how this came to be, because he was actually using water and straws for some rehabilitation. And when I saw this thing, it was like the light bulbs all went off. And so we're constantly trying to make it better and make it more fluid and make it easier for you guys to use. And we're constantly improving on it. And so I think if you don't have one, bettervoice.store, you should definitely go grab one, because it is one of the best little tools I've ever used. And it's so simple. It's not like something where you need biofeedback and you need to go on your phone and you're blowing into a computer and you're, trying something on the mic and you're getting all these straws. This thing is so simple, and you just take it with you anywhere. Simplicity is key for singers, because we're lazy. We're lazy. We want everything quickly. That's just the way we are. And this thing gives you the result super fast. Yeah, you want to buy it. I think it's about $35. I think you can get it for 35 bucks, and don't lose it. You'll have it forever. Like, put it in something safe in your purse or your wallet or your keychain or whatever. But it's your tool. It's like bringing your your instrument with you. If you have a little piano, or you have a little cello, or you have a recorder, or you have your guitar, this is helping you with your instrument. So think of it like your instrument, right? If you played an instrument, it would cost you hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars. All right, guys, I think that is everything. And I think that's all the questions. I think let's see, I grab and help smooth out we got another one. I love Phantom of the Opera. Want to help smooth out the break between chest and mix. Get the trainer. That's what this is for. It smooths out that break between your chest and mix. And so you start to glide through all of those exercises instead of pulling or flipping. You want to always have balance, not too much air, not too much muscle, right? So that's the goal as singers, and you really need tutelage, or you need help showing your singers how to do that. So if you don't have one of these guys, please grab one. It is super inexpensive. It's a lot less expensive than a lot of things that you're going to buy. Some of my singers spend more than $100 on straws that they lost, and they're constantly forgetting them and buying more and ordering more, and you just have to buy your little guy and bring it with you. But that helps. Also, exercises with the nose plugged, right? You do this first and then you do the nose. So we're gonna have more of these, I promise. You guys had a lot of questions today. I really appreciate you hopping on and joining me today. Bettervoice.store is where you can get the nebulizer, the jaw massager, and the vocal trainer here. And if you have questions for me, or you're interested in any type of vocal coaching, whether with me, I do have teachers that work for me as well that are phenomenal. You can go to ValerieMorehouse.com, go to my contact page, and stay with us on this, Better Voice, and stay with me on Official Val Morehouse, because we're going to send you a lot of information weekly, and we'll tell you when we're going to do another live. And you have me here for free for a full 30 minutes, today 40, answering all your questions, right? This is, a lot of people never get the opportunity to do this. So stay with us, log on, ask me your questions. Yes, we send to Canada. We send all over the world. So you can get it anywhere. So join us next time. I really appreciate you guys being here and plugging in and asking your questions, and answering all your questions.